You're listening to the Back Porch Talk podcast. Danny and Jason had many discussions and debates on the back porch while making pivotal investment moves with assets. That's right, with trading cards. They welcome you to the back porch and right into those discussions about current sports news with a fresh and unique twist. So come on and join us. Welcome to the Back Porch Talk podcast. I'm your co-host, Jason.
Your co-host, Danny.
Fans, you know what to do. Go ahead and like, go ahead and subscribe. We need the algorithms to algorithm. And fans, we have a full show for you today. A little Major League Baseball, a little NFL, but right into it, Danny. This is the last week of the MLB season, regular season, and the Milwaukee Brewers are still the best team in baseball. Let me say that again, because the Brewers don't get enough credit. The Brewers don't get enough pub, and they are 95 a 95 win team so far, with about 5-6 games to go, and have a chance at 100 if we win out. It's going to be tough because right now we're going against the San Diego Padres and we wrap up against the Cincinnati Reds. But Danny, let me just say, these Milwaukee Brewers are serious. Unfortunately, they did lose against San Diego Padres last night in a tough one, 5-4 in the 11th inning. But these Milwaukee Brewers, man, it's something about them. Something about them. They are sound defensively. They are sound offensively as well. Sound pitching. I still would like to have another bat, but they've been making do. 2.5 games up on the Philadelphia Phillies. They still have to play. Milwaukee Brewers still have to play this thing out to have the number one seed in baseball. And 2.5 games with the Phillies having 6 games left, let me just say anything can happen. But Milwaukee Brewers need to go ahead and nip this in the bud and win a couple of games. What say you, Dan, about these Milwaukee Brewers?
Yeah, Jay, we're closing in on the playoffs, and there's a lot of jockeying around, too, in the National League, where the Brewers, if the playoffs started today, with them being the 1 seed, they would play the winner of the Padres and Cubs. Imagine that that round, NLDS. The good thing is, man, with them being in the 1, they got to keep the 1 because you do not want to face the Dodgers in the second round. You know, saying the Dodgers were right now, they're slated to play Cincinnati Reds, which would then go on to play the Phillies as the 2 seed. You want to stay out of that side of the bracket. Not to say the Padres and Cubs are slouches. I'm not even going there. But, you know, the history with the Dodgers and the Brewers. Mm-hmm. So you want to hold them off as long as possible. But first things first, got to clinch this number 1 seed. Heartbreaker last night in extra innings that I thought they were going to get. But, hey, man, they have another opportunity tonight. Cincinnati coming up. They have something to play for, too. Mm-hmm. So they're versus the Phillies where they're not in that same position with the opponents they're facing. So now the Brewers just got to take care of business, man. And this was our fear talking about this back in August, right? But they're holding on. They're holding on. But you don't want to go limping into the playoffs. So let's hopefully they can get these next 2 against San Diego and 2 or 3 against Cincinnati and go into the playoffs with a little mojo, get that 1 seed.
Not only get that 1 seed, Danny, but also get some rest. Yes. There was a stretch there where the Milwaukee Brewers had 18 games in 19 days last month. And you could tell that they were just tired, man. Mm-hmm. So hopefully by garnering this 1 seed, they get a little rest. They, shore up anything from a defensive perspective, from a pitching perspective, offensively, whatever the case may be. Just get the fundamentals. Just make sure that the fundamentals are in tune. Make sure their minds are sharp, et cetera. So hopefully they get this rest in this number 1 seed, Danny.
Yep.
And just as we talk about Major League Baseball, there's a whole lot happening in NFL where week 3 happened. And man, I would just say, Danny, this this NFL weekend was to me, if there was a few words to tag on this weekend, is that of special teams. Special teams dominated this weekend, in my opinion. And this is a start where it hurts with the Packers losing against the Browns 13-10, and where the Packers had a 10-0 lead in the fourth quarter, deep in the fourth quarter. Next thing you know, you had a whole lot of mishaps happen with regards to whether it's an interception that was thrown by Jordan Love, whether there was a blocked field goal attempt. Let me just say this was just a bad, bad loss all the way around. But I think the team needed a little humble pie. NFL is a week-to-week league, man. You try to go 1-0 every week, and we'll try to go 1-0 against Cowboys. That's going to be a good one. That's a Sunday night game. Michael Parsons goes back to Dallas, and it's going to be interesting. But, man, this was a defensive battle. The Browns have a good defense. The Packers have a good defense. This was just an ugly game all the way around. But I don't know, man. The Packers got to do better. LaFleur took some blame. So kudos to him for taking some blame. But we just need a better performance overall. Another game to highlight that had special teams in mind was that of the Eagles against the Rams. The Eagles squeaked this one by, man. This is off of block punt. 33-26 win by the Eagles, and where Jalen Hurts throws the ball for 226 yards, 3 touchdowns, 21 for 32 all the way around, man. I think, though, the Rams came with the intent to put everybody on notice that we are here, and they are definitely here. Devontae Adams, three receptions for 56 yards and a touchdown, 11 receptions, 112 yards by Puka Nacua. Jalen Hurts, like I mentioned, had a sound game. Saquon Barkley only rushed for 46 yards. The Rams, I think, are for real, man. I think they're going to come out of this with the thought that we can actually beat the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. And one last game to highlight, Danny, is that of, man, this was an interesting game. The Lions and Ravens. Monday night game. Lions go into Baltimore and wins 38-30. Lamar Jackson had 288 yards, 3 touchdowns. One thing I didn't realize is that Lamar Jackson is way up there, tied for the best in NFL history in terms of passer efficiency. He continues to be efficient. Derrick Henry had 12 carries for 50 yards, a touchdown, but had a fumble late. I don't know, man. The Lions look completely different than the very first game they played against the Green Bay Packers. I think the Packers need to watch out. So, yeah, Danny, what say you about the NFL weekend, week 3?
Jason, just a couple other points on the games you highlighted. There was a series in this Ravens-Detroit game where the Ravens are actually on the 2-yard line in the first half, and they ran 4 straight plays, and Detroit didn't let them in. Stopped them. Actually ended up where Lamar Jackson fumbled on 4th and goal, and the ball ended up on like the 20-yard line. And from that point on, you could see Detroit was like, all right, we got this. And then David Montgomery went off. He had a couple runs, man. He looked like vintage Montgomery from Chicago days. That with him and Gibbs playing the way they did last night. And this is why we say, man, it's early in the season. These teams they don't get that preseason anymore like they used to. So these teams kind of, start getting into a rhythm. And I think from the Lions standpoint, they just got punched in the mouth that first week. And that kind of woke them up, and they haven't looked back since. So they looked good last night. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a great game. And then as far as that Eagles-Rams game, yeah, the Rams were up 26-7 in that game. And then Philadelphia had to throw the ball because A.J. Brown hasn't done anything all season. Now they had no choice but to throw, and Jalen Hurts did what he had to do, and then they had a huge special teams play. Tampa Bay Jets, you talk about blocked field goals. The Jets actually blocked one, took it to the
Sure did.
house.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield got another win right at the end for Tampa Bay. They won 3 games that way this year against the Texans, Falcons, and now the Jets. But they did have a key injury with Mike Evans going down with a hamstring injury. Jason, do I even waste my time? I didn't wear the hat this week, Jason. I had to go back to the Brewers. My boys got whooped 30-0. Atlanta lost to the Carolina Panthers.
Damn.
Truth be told, the Falcons always struggle in Carolina for whatever reason. I don't care how bad Carolina is. Penix got benched through 2 interceptions, one for a pick six, which sealed his fate. It was 10-0 at the time, and they went down 17-0. The kicker they just signed, Parker Romo, couldn't hit a field goal. Oh, Penix they said he's going to start. Cousins did come into the game late in the game. And we had the Commanders coming up, and then we get a bye. But Ike Hilliard got fired, the receivers coach. They're bringing the OC down on the field. But I thought a lot of people, their badges shouldn't have worked on Monday after that game. When they came to Flowery Branch, they should have been revoked. That was embarrassing, especially our big win against the Vikings.
Yeah.
Where that defense played.
Mm-hmm.
The offense has been sputtering, man. The offense can't get it going, but dang. So we'll see what they do in week 4, man. But that was, as a Falcons fan, that was very disappointing to see. And I don't know. But we always have to remember, too, Penix, this is only his 6th game.
Mm-hmm.
So he's truly a rookie in his rookie season, even though he played a couple games last year. So he has to have some grace, but y'all can't getting beat 30-0 by the Panthers.
And then for bonus coverage, one topic we have not talked about, we've been waiting to get more information on, and that is the situation in the NBA regarding the Los Angeles Clippers owner Steve Ballmer, and also what's happening with Kawhi Leonard, and where Pablo Torre reported that basically, just to kind of summarize here, that Kawhi Leonard had been allegedly paid underneath the table by a company, I believe, called Aspiration. This is all alleged. Right now, the NBA has a investigation that's ongoing, so that way they can look into this matter. But there are reports that maybe the $28 million was paid to Leonard, or was agreed upon to pay Leonard allegedly. In return, it would be a no-show type contract, which means that it's a no-show. Leonard just get paid the money, and in a sense that, in some eyes, looked like the Los Angeles Clippers were circumventing the salary cap within the NBA. This is, again, all alleged. We don't know all the information, but this is just another instance in Los Angeles for the Los Angeles Clippers, man. It just seems like there's always something happening with the Los Angeles Clippers. So it's something not happening right for the Los Angeles Clippers. And let me just say, Danny, it seems like if something like this is true, again, this is all alleged, this is all, we don't know. But if this is true, the owners of smaller market teams have always worried about this, that these quote unquote big market teams, and now you have Steve Ballmer, who's one of the richest men in the world, definitely the richest governor in the NBA, to be able to give any player allegedly a side deal with a company, that's a concern by a small market team. So this is going to be very interesting to see where this lands, man. But I believe, if this is true or not, I think this is the beginning of the end of the relationship with the Los Angeles Clippers and Kawhi Leonard. I believe Kawhi is a unrestricted free agent next year, at the end of next season, I believe. Even so, I just don't think the Clippers will, you know, deal with Kawhi Leonard and his management. So I don't know, Danny. This is just all stinky. This reeks of just some mess, and I don't know if any organization would want to be a part of any of this mess. What say you about this Los Angeles Clippers mess?
I'm waiting to see what Adam Silver does in this situation. That's what I'm looking to see because based on what the NBA finds in their investigation, based on what's been reported, how are the Clippers penalized in this case? Because if you remember back in the day, when the Timberwolves did some underhandedness with Joe Smith, they're docked 5 first-round picks. And looking at the Clippers draft, these picks coming up, they don't have many number one picks, and they need all the help they can get, especially with Kawhi, coming to the end, and he really hasn't played. He's played limited since he's even been there. But I'm looking at what the penalty is, and then 2, is there means for voiding his contract? So how does that all play? Because this could get real nasty real quick on so many levels with, the Players Association, the NBA, other teams being investigated. Because if it's where there's smoke, there's fire, usually in some of these cases, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where this one is interesting. And then 2, if they do void Kawhi's contract or whatever he's released, then who does another organization pick him up? Because he's technically a free agent, right? If his contract is voided. So then that can also change some dynamics as well, depending on the team, because then he could come in and, bring somebody to a championship in theory based on his talent. He still can play. He doesn't play a lot often, but when he does play, he can play. But there's been injuries that, have limited him. So in this whole case and what's been reported allegedly going on with the Clippers and Kawhi, I'm just waiting to see what the NBA says. Adam Silver has come out a couple times, had a couple interviews where, they're investigating and no stone unturned type of commentary. But once that happens, what's the end result out of this?
And Danny, Kawhi has not only this year, 25-26, but he has that final year, 26-27, at $50.3 million. So he's getting paid $50 million this year and $50.3 million the following year.
Mm-hmm.
So he has guaranteed $100 million. So I don't know what happens here, man. And if I'm not mistaken, the All-Star game is in LA.
Yes.
So I think, man, this investigation, I don't think it should take that long, Danny. I mean, to me, it's kind of like, hey, man, you ask a few questions, you follow the paper trail, and I don't think the NBA and Adam Silver will want to go into an All-Star weekend in LA with this mess still in the air.
Agree.
If anything, I think this would be something that I would want to do before the season starts.
Yeah, no, and they're starting preseason games starting what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you have some teams were actually reporting to training camp now because just a few of them have to go overseas to for preseason games.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a mess, man. I think they have this investigation definitely done by Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas label games.
Yep.
I think they gotta have that And I hope they have it done before the season starts, but the latest to me would be before Christmas.
Yeah, because that's what people are going to be talking about, and it's going to take the eyes off the actual product
Mm-hmm.
because you're talking about an investigation. But I guess we'll see.
We'll see.
Thank you for joining us at Back Porch Talk Podcast. You can also join us on Twitter by tweeting us at @back_podcast. For more information, you can go to our website, which is backporchtalkpodcast.com. You can also email us at backporchtalkpodcast@gmail.com. Again, thank you for joining us, and remember that there's enough hate in the world, so go ahead and spread a little love.